All right, hello everyone. We're back to the roots. Let's do some more hacking stuff. But before we do some more hacking videos, I think it's good that I show you how I generally do my setup, which is I dual boot. Windows mainly just for the games, to be honest. Like playing games with friends does like some games don't really have support for Linux. A lot of games really don't. So I mainly keep Windows just for the gaming and whatever obscure others like some very specific software I need to use for like I don't know projects or whatever with friends. I'll use Windows, but the majority of my actual development and stuff is done in Linux. So I'm dual booting, meaning that I have on my PC when the PC starts up, I get to choose if I want to go into Windows or Linux right on startup. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now. First things first, you want to have a USB stick handy. So I'm not gonna, like, I can't really show you this, but I have a USB stick in my hand. 16 gigabytes is fine. Anything, usually 4 gigabytes is honestly enough, but just to be safe, try to get something that's 8 gigabytes or more. At least 8 gigabytes, you'll be fine with any Linux distribution. Uh, and right away, what we want to do is we want to download the Linux distribution that we want to, install. So in my case, I want to use Manjaro, but the steps here are exactly the same for Ubuntu, Kali Linux, which is like the super pro like hacking one, which I'll probably install on my other PC. Um, but this is just like for my own development stuff. I prefer Manjaro simply because I'm not sweaty enough to use Arch Linux and like manage everything myself. That's not taking a shot at people who do that. I just like I don't know. I just want something that's a little bit more stable than that, but at the same time, I don't want to deal with the super old, outdated packages that Debian-based distributions have. So, but yeah, let's just go to Manjaro here, and I'll choose the architecture that I'm on. So for the vast majority of computers, just choose x86 because that's the architecture that you're on. If you don't know which architecture you're on, you can always check just by going to this PC, right-clicking on it, and going to Properties, and you can see what architecture you're on there in there. So yeah, anyway, I'm x86 or sorry x64 base stuff, x86, 64, this sort of thing, right? So I'm going to choose this one. And then you just choose whichever desktop you want to download. So in my case, I want the GNOME desktop since it's like super nice and clean. i3 is a fun tiling manager to mess around with. If you want something a little bit more user friendly, then I suggest choosing one of the desktop environments up here, the stable ones. Usually XFC is like the more lightweight one. You can use this on older machines which don't have enough power, like as much power. But in my case here, I'm using um, this is a Lenovo Legion Wi-Fi 4.5, so it has an i7. It has an NVIDIA 1660 Ti, 16 gigabytes of RAM, so it's strong enough to handle the GNOME desktop environment. So anyway, yeah, just download that crap, and you can download it via torrent if you want to be a hacker man. But the easiest way really is to just do like image and just download the full image off the website directly. You download it beforehand. So once the download's done, you can actually open your downloads and you'll see, boom, there you go. So I downloaded this earlier today. So yeah, once you have it downloaded, you'll also need something to basically flash that ISO file. So this image, you want to have something to flash it onto the USB stick. So to do that, download Balena Etcher, and I'll do this with you guys. So it's this link right here. All of these links for what I'm downloading, I'll put in the description, and I'm not getting anything out of this. I just use these tools because I think that they work well. So yeah, so just click on download, no issues here. And then once again, choose whichever installer you want. So in my case, I just want the standard one. It's the standard installer for Windows. If you're on Mac OS, use the Mac OS one, obviously. If you're already on Linux, then you probably don't need this tutorial since you already installed Linux. But hey, yeah, you can you can use these ones or download it from your local package manager. Anyway, I'm choosing this one because that's the one that's right for me. We got Balena Etcher downloaded. Let's install it. You just click on it and let's run through this. You gotta I agree to this because you have no other option if you want to use the software. That's just the way things are. And yeah, let's see. Let's see how this what happens next. There we go. We got it. Super easy, super lightweight program. It's just like a couple megabytes. Um, But once you have your chosen ISO file downloaded, it's either going to be this Ubuntu one here, or the Manjaro one, or some other version of some other flavor of like Linux or other distribution of Linux that you want. Then you just take your USB stick, plug it into any USB port on your computer. We just flash from file, choose that, choose your like Linux distribution. I'm choosing the Manjaro GNOME one, which I just downloaded. Choose the target. I'm choosing this Philips USB 16 gigabyte flash drive, which I just plugged in. So just make sure that you're not choosing your real hard drives that you care about. Make sure that it's just the USB stick that you plug it in. That's the one you want to flash the image on. Once you click flash, then the process starts. You need to press yes to whatever pop-up shows up that like, oh hey, this is making changes to your device, and boom, Boolean Etcher will handle everything for you on its own like that. Yeah, I guess in the meantime, I'll show you how to make a partition. So if you want a dual boot like me, go to your search bar and type in disk manager, probably. Yeah, disk manager. It's this one right here. Just open that up. And then you notice once it loads, I already have a partition here set. The way to actually create partitions is you right click on whatever hard like drive you want to shrink. So keep in mind, you have a drive, you have a set amount of space. Let's say it's like a terabyte, maybe at least half a terabyte. You have 500 gigabytes in there. You want to allocate a certain portion of that to your new Linux OS, basically. So I have that partition allocated here. That this 200 gigabytes right here, this will be for Linux, is what I'm saying, right? The way I did that is I went to my like main drive here. So let's say I wanted to do this one. You right click on that, and then you do shrink volume, and then you just shrink it down to whatever size you want left. Yeah, so just like right click it, click on shrink volume, and then just choose whatever size you want to shrink it down to. You can look up like other tutorials on how to do it. This part I think is fairly straightforward. Just shrink volume it, and then boom, you now have a partition where you can install Linux. Make sure it's at least 100 gigabytes. I'd like usually is what recommend. It's what's recommended. Maybe more. I put 200 just in case I want to install stuff in home instead of using my like shared drive here. So anyway, yeah. Once the shrinking is done, we can move on to the next part, and basically the flashing's done as well. So yeah, let's just install it. That's all we got left to do. All right, good stuff. We're in here now. So check this out. I got my USB stick plugged in here. I got my laptop off, so it's all turned off. Let's now install my Linux distribution on that partition, which we just created on that drive. So to do that, turn it on, and immediately when you turn it on, it's either going to be F9 or F12. You got to spam that key. I'm gonna spam F12 first, since I know that that's the one that's on my computer. If F12 doesn't work for you, then just shut down again once you boot up into Windows. Shut down again, and then just try F9. One of those will show up the boot options for you, and you should be able to boot off of the USB. So let's do it. Spamming F12. Boom, it's booting up. Easy. So check it out. I got my old Ubuntu install, which is a long time ago. I got this Manjaro install, which I already installed. You won't have these two. All you'll have is Windows Boot Manager and this USB device, which you just created. So select that. To select that, you just move the arrow keys up and down, and then press Enter. So make sure it's EFI USB device. And now it's going to boot up, and it usually shows you this menu exactly. Do you want to do open source drivers or proprietary drivers? I'm the kind of person who doesn't want any problems, so I'm just going to choose proprietary drivers. If you kind of want to have like a full free software, like open source drivers only system, feel free to do this one. Just know that it might be a bit more effort to get things working. So with the proprietary drivers, let's go in, press Enter, boom. Let's see. All right, we got something happening. Don't get scared. Don't worry. It's not actually doing anything bad. Anyway, so we're going in. This might take some time to load. Once it's loaded, I will come back and I'll just free up some storage on my phone because I noticed I'm running out of space. Oh, looks like so. Hey, popped up. Nice, just in time. I got 2 minutes left of recording time, so let's get this show on the road. Cool. I guess we're in, huh? So this is Manjaro right here. This is the super hype gnome environment. I notice it has like a bit of a yellowish tint. It looks like it might be because it's already 8:30 p.m. my time, so it's probably why it's having or like it has like the night theme on. I can literally change that right here, I think. Night theme. Get out of here. No light. Oh, there we go. Blue light in my eyes. Perfect. So you can just double check that everything's working out of the box just to make sure for you. I hear sound. Pop, 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 pop. Looks good. And yeah, let's install it. So what you do is some sort of pop-up will show up right away. Launch installer. No time to mess around. Yeah, wait for the modules to finish and choose your language. So in my case, obviously, American English is fine. The system's not connected to the internet. That is a problem. Where's the internet thing? Wi-Fi, let's see. Let's just connect it to the internet. You click on Wi-Fi here, and let's see where to choose your like home network, and then type in the password for it. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, password's been typed in. Let's go. Let's connect. And boom, we got the light. Looks like we're connected to the internet. We can just double check that by going on to the Firefox web browser and just, I don't know, just typing in something. I can already see we're yeah, there we go, test. Wow, we're in. That's amazing, isn't it? Next, choose your time zone. So yeah, let's do that. East Coast. Keyboard as well. Default English US is fine. Like if you can just like type stuff and like you look like test. It shows up. Type in numbers. It show up. Type in like maybe the question marks and stuff and like the quotation marks. It shows up. Slashes, the pipes. It's all good. So keyboard's working. If it's working, just keep the default. No reason to actually make it more messed up. Now this is the important part. You don't want to mess up your Windows crap. So make sure that you choose the right disk, which you did, this one. Don't do erase disk. Spooky. If you're doing dual boot, don't do erase disk. That's sketchy. What you got to do is install alongside, and this will automatically actually make a partition for you and stuff. But I'm not doing that because I already created a partition. So since we created the partition in Windows, we click on replace a partition, and then we choose which one. So I want to choose to kill the old Manjaro I have, and I want to reinstall this new Manjaro. So yeah, there you go. As you can see, here's what's before, here's what's after. It's kind of hard to see because the text is black on black, but over here I had a previous Manjaro Linux distribution, which is an older version here, and I want to install the new one here. And you can see that this partition that has Manjaro Linux, the blue one, is going to be replaced with the red one, the new Manjaro. So looks like it's good. Once you've verified, yours will probably just be blank here. It'll just say like free partition or whatever. So just once you select that, you'll see it's going to be filled with the new allocated space for the new Linux version, which you're installing. You can do encrypt system if you really want to be a security nerd. I do not care. If you stole my laptop, that's already a win on you, mate. Good job. You can put your name here. I'm just gonna put John. It's not really an issue. What do you want to log into? Let's just what name do you want for a login? I'll just do like a meme name. There we go. Name of this computer. There you go. And then Legion, because this is like a Lenovo Legion, I guess. Oops, there you go. Choose a password. So now here's the thought process. You can do a real password. I'm just gonna put one. I don't give a crap. Passwords, like, get out of here. And log in without asking for the password. And use the same password for the admin account. There you go. I don't give a crap about passwords, man. It depends. Which one do you choose? LibreOffice or FreeOffice? I'm used to LibreOffice, so I'm going to choose that. It doesn't really matter. This is your Office suite, your Microsoft Office replacement. So I'm just going to do LibreOffice because that's what I'm used to. Let's see. Partitions. Let's see. Okay, let's just double check that everything's good. So here's an overview. The location is going to be New York time. That's okay. The keyboard's just going to be the standard one. That works already, so we're fine with that. Replace a partition. We're replacing this whatever partition with a newer version of Manjaro. And yeah,
that's what it looks like is happening. So it's this red part. I noticed that my Windows part, which is this 274 gigabyte, the yellow one, is unaffected. So it's super important that that's not affected there. So we're good with that, right? Perfect. And obviously like the boot stuff, which is at the beginning, the initial part of the partitions are not affected either. So perfect. Let's just install it. And install it. You can't undo it after it's done. So there you go. You can wait for this to go. I'm gonna stop the recording here, and then I'll start again once I'm a bit closer to the finish line. Woohoo! Almost done. All done. Heck yeah. So now you have to choose to turn off your computer and turn it back on. You can either click just restart it automatically. Yeah, let's just do that, honestly. I don't really mind. Restart now. What this is going to do is it's going to show up right away. It should show your Linux environment as like the GNU Grub window. You should see it. So should be able to right away see this. Legion, let's see. If we don't, I'll show you how to fix it. Okay, right away it shows this. 3 seconds remaining. What is this? Manjaro Linux? Oh no, there you go. This is the boot menu. This is what it is. So you either have Manjaro Linux here or you have your Windows boot manager here. So let's try to boot into Manjaro. Let's see if it works. Hey, we booted up in successfully. So first thing you want to do, even if you just downloaded the ISO, it's still good practice to just download the latest packages. So just do sudo pacman -syu and yeah, type in your password, which you set for your user. So in my case, it's just 1. And boom, good practice to just do that. All right, so I'm finishing installing OBS and all that stuff. But there's one last thing I want to show you. So regardless if you're on Pacman or if you have APT, go and install NeoFetch. That is mandatory. That's a mandatory training for everybody right here. Install NeoFetch like that. And once that's installed, open up a terminal. Any terminal, yeah, full screen it too. And then just type in NeoFetch. And then actually press Control L before just to, actually no, yeah, just this is good. This is good. Ready for this? Check this out. Ready? NeoFetch in the terminal. 3, 2, 1, boom. And that's how you know you're a real hacker. So this has been how to install Manjaro. Now, what if the boot up didn't actually happen? What if after installing it, I still boot up to Windows? I'm going to show you that right now. So once the system has been turned off, if for some reason Windows immediately appeared and you didn't see Linux at all, then that just means that the boot sequence is wrong. And like if your installation went successfully and everything, but if for some reason when you turn on the computer, you don't see the Linux, that just means your boot sequence is wrong. What you do is you turn on the computer, immediately spam F2, just keep hitting that until you go into the settings here. Boom, you're in the BIOS. Wow. You go into boot, and all you gotta do is your boot mode thing. You see how I have Manjaro on the top? You'd probably not have it at the top. You'd probably have it below. So what you do is over here you can see it's F6 and F5 to change the values. In my case, over here you might have a different menu, but basically choose whichever key you need to move it up or down. So in my case, I have Manjaro at the top. If I had it below, like right here, see right now, if I just turn this off and turn it back on, Windows will boot. But I want Manjaro to boot as like first priority. So I just go here, click F6, boom, arrow keys to select. And now if I just turn this off, exit saving changes, yes, it'll boot up into Manjaro. And I do that because even in Manjaro, I can actually do other, like boot into Linux or Windows if I wanted to. So check this out real quick. I got this right here in Manjaro. I have Manjaro first option selected. I just go down to Windows Boot Manager, and I'll just boot up into. Oh my god, my recording died again. Okay, I got like 30 seconds left. This is a super long video already as is, but I think I showed a lot of things. I showed a lot more than I wanted to. This is how to install Linux. This is how to choose even a distribution. This is how to set up a partition, and this is how to dual boot and change the priority ordering in the BIOS, and also how to look a little bit like a hacker in Linux. So anyway, we're back into Windows. Let me get this all wrapped up. I'll record in OBS. I'll finish the recording, edit it, post it. See ya.